Avoid using language that is unparliamentary and out of order. Honorable members, keep quiet.
Stop thinking through your stomachs.
Honorable members,
Use your brains to think.
South Africa, like many other democracies around the world, has always had a parliament. During apartheid, that parliament only represented the minority, in other words, white South Africans. Since 1994, our parliament and legislatures is meant to be made up of people from the different political parties that we, the public, vote for in elections. Together, these politicians are supposed to make sure that the laws of the country and the services that departments deliver serve the interest of the majority, and also that they do not unfairly discriminate against any groups. Legislatures is another word for parliament. We have national parliament in Cape Town, and we also have 9 provincial legislatures, 1 in each province. In South Africa, we typically refer to national parliament as parliament and to the provincial parliament as legislatures. The Constitution of South Africa says what legislatures must do. It says that the most important roles the legislatures must play in our democracy is to represent the people and to ensure government by the people under the Constitution. So, our legislatures are meant to belong to the people and not to the political parties. The politicians in legislatures are put there by the political parties that we vote for. They are called members of parliament or members of the provincial legislatures. They are meant to act on our behalf, in other words, in our best interest, and they are meant to listen to what we have to say. There are 3 main things Parliament is meant to work on. Make or amend or fix laws so that the law is fair and good for our society. Make sure that government departments do their job to deliver services to the people of South Africa properly and for the good of the majority. In this way, legislatures must be like the boss of government. They have a responsibility to facilitate public participation in all their work. This must be more than just telling us what they are doing. They must also ask us what we think and take our views seriously when they make decisions.
Noncedo, can I ask you to introduce yourself? Tell us how old you are, where you live, and what do you do? What are you passionate about?
I'm Noncedo Bulana. I'm from Khayelitsha, Site C. I'm in my 40s. I'm an activist. They say it in Xhosa, Chantli Zulka Mama. I saw that there is something that I have to do in my community. That is why I became an activist. In these things that we are doing, we meet different people whereby they nurture us one way or other. And we grow spiritually, we grow physically, we grow mentally. That's whereby we met this organization that I'm in now. And then we went to Parliament to monitor. When I'm comparing my community and the Parliament, I see a huge difference. In a way, if a person, it's the first time to go to Parliament, you feel like you can stay there and sleep there. You don't want to go back home. The reason behind is like you are in another world. And it's so confusing me why it's like that. Because I thought when you go to Parliament, you must go in your place whereby you understand it, and it's so similar where you are coming from. But it's like even the people, when you enter there, hey, you see like as you are activists, there you see the professors, you see, really, are they really the professors? What is happening? But what I've realized is like if they like you as a political party, you are being nominated or taken to be there. Some people that are engaged with, they don't even have matric, and I was like, whoa. And when I entered there, they told me that this one is relative to that one. I was like, is it this thing of nepotism really happening? Okay, it's happening. But I was not there for that. I was there to monitor what I came to do.
Tell me, in your community, when you were growing up as a child, tell me where you grew up, who taught you how to be a fighter? Someone who stands up for people?
My thing is so confusing because I was born in Eastern Cape. But my mother, when I was young, was working. My father was working here at Montana, Joyce, Dairy. I used to see people running. Like, what is happening? My mother is not a good person to speak. If you ask a question, she will beat me up. I was this person you want to know, but no one told me. So I developed the inner me whereby I used to speak alone. Oh, maybe. I didn't know what is maybe. But when I'm growing up now, I started in Eastern Cape. When I have my matric, and my mother said, come and work. When I arrived here, she said, oh, you don't have a mathematics, you cannot get a job here. I was like, she put me down in a way. But there was this thing in me that, man, it's not a mess only that you can survive in life. And but I was a young girl that was so confused. It didn't know about the relationship. In a way, I'm having a lot of children, biological and spiritual. But there was this thing in my mind, continue study. No one was pulling my hand like this. So I'm so proud of this life now I'm in, because you meet people whereby they will take you. But as a child, no one, I was alone. In a way, I used to ask myself, why am I alone? I can say this anger of mine, that's why it made me the person who I am today. But I have never seen any role model. Even the politics, I got them here when I arrived here in Western Cape, because at school I didn't do history. I did geography, agriculture, biology.
When you look at your community now, where you stay, is there hope in this community of yours?
The question you're asking is like, I was reflecting to myself before I came here. I was like, I wish people were like me, because my background, as I'm saying, where there is organization, that organization called Children's Resource Center. Marcus Solomon is a founder, and he used to teach us about the respect yourself, respect environment, respect others. So in that ideology, I put it in my mind in a way that I also portray to my children, biological one, also the community one, because I've got an after-school care called the Delicate Children and Youth Movement. I'm like, this weekend, how many people who died? I don't know how many in my community, and I don't know how many people who beat each other. But now I was inside in my house sewing, communicating with my children over the phone, because they are the adults now. I do not to intervene in their relationship or in their life. I was like, look at me, I'm so cool. Why, if we were cool like this in my community, we're going to sleep in a way that no one is harming each other. And when they are calling me, I used to jump high when they say someone is fighting. But now when they say someone is fighting, I said, I've been there, done that, I cannot get out anymore. Into your question, I feel like I'm the only one who's honest for my community, because as I said, when I was from Eastern Cape to come here, I joined the political party, ANC Youth League, but I realized that's not my call, because people, they fight for the seat. And then as I was having this Children's Resource Center background, so I keep on forming the children's movement. I keep on learning more about what is children's movement, what can we do to upgrade us as youngsters. Since then, I've never stopped, although now I've mixed it with the motherhood and adulthood. But I feel like I'm the only one in my community. Everyone around me whom I grow with, they are not like me, because they are there to get the job, and they are there to use the people in terms of the politics. Although the politics, we know that they cannot take us anywhere. But they keep on saying, vote for the political party in order for you to govern. And now I know that you never survive because of the political parties. We can survive if we continue to do what they call it socialism. And I believe in socialism. Socialism versus mutualism. Because in my community, I used to say, when they will come and evict me, because they say we are in an area that is for municipality to use it when I don't know. But I used to say, you know what, the person will take me out here. That person will tell me why at my age you want me to start a new area. And at my age, I don't want to move, because I have a right to say I own this place. But my people are still confused, but now they can see my role in a way. They used to say, come to me if there is something they don't understand, and ask me, and I will tell them the way I know, because fortunately I'm monitoring the parliament, so I'm well informed which cards they are playing.
When you were a young woman, say in your early 20s, what are some of your dreams that you had for this country, and have you seen progress in your 40 odd years? Have you seen us move forward in your community, or is there still a fucking long way to go?
Hey, when I was young, I thought, because we used to sing, Mandela, Mandela, release Mandela. Although I was not forefront because I was young, but I used to have this eagerness. If Tatu Mandela can come out, that means he can be free. I remember when we went to vote, I was pregnant because really, and then I was treated like a cake. I said, yeah, that's why I want to vote, because that means after this vote, we are going to stay in a cheese and eat banana at any time. Hey, we voted. It was 1 year. Second year, I thought maybe because they used to say no, this party is still young, so it's still taking the things from national party, and I used to say that national party is a bad one, and this one is still young. I voted in 1999. These things were still the same. And that's why I questioned. I said, something wrong here. And then when I learned about the capitalism and socialism, I was like, fat cats and man, where are we? That means we are making people to be fatter than before. And fortunately, there was ILRIC, in International Labour Research Group, whereby Derek Knight taught us about the fat cats, socialism, and power struggle, what. And then I also listened there, I learned, man, they change the face of the person in order to be like, yes, we are voting for change. Instead, and then the economy still belongs to those people. So I don't want to say those F that you call, but again, nothing has changed. And what is going to happen if we still continue confusing people by saying, if you vote, voting is your voice, we are lying. Voting is not a voice. What I realized, voting is making more things to be capitalized, to be neoliberalized, rather than, if you can. I used to say, fortunately, I was in UWC, and then I did a philosophy, and then Socrates used to say there, you know what, if parliament can be taken to the people, and then it can be the people who can run the parliament, that the difference can happen. And even then, I didn't know that what does Socrates mean, because I was never in parliament. But when I was in parliament, that's where I saw that difference, that I'm man. The dream of Socrates will never succeed, because the parliament is something that is like it's a heaven, and yet here in our community we're like this.
If someone said to you, Noncedo, here is an unlimited budget, you have the duty of designing parliament for South Africa. You don't have to use that structure, you can do anything. What would you say is the way it should be done?
For me, I can say, maybe I'm a president now. I've got this man. I can say, I know most of the needs of my people. Other ones, they want to finish their schools. Others, they want to do song, whatever they want to put. We know the social, they call it the psychosocial issues in our communities. I can have ministers who are monitoring that. If maybe there are 10, and then I would say, Minister of Education, do this. And I'm not going to give them the money and then I leave. I'll evaluate to make sure that they have used it. How many people they have taken to the school? How many people they are on social grants who are having SASA? How many people, the seniors? And I can make sure that the taverns that they are there, I can turn it into heaven, whereby it can be the computer. We can use it for life skill programs, computer skills, sewing. This parliament, it can, and there will be no crime in my community, because I know that fortunately these children, they grew up in my movement, and they call me teacher. Others, they call me ma'am. They don't know what to call me. I can make sure that they are doing something in their life, because some of them, they say, we are robbing because we don't have anything to do, and it's serious. Nothing they can do there in our communities. For me, I can utilize that. Even my salary, I remember when I was with Patricia Dillon, for 10 years, she used to give me some money. And then I used to take that money, I opened up a soup kitchen, I paid the school for the children, and I used to assist with that money. I used to share with it. That question for me, I can be that president the people they want, because really.
Why do you think the people that have the positions now are not doing their jobs? Why?
It's because when they enter there, they enter with, I see them, they enter with empty mentality. They didn't know how to develop the community. What they know is to wear the high heels, to drive a high car. If they did the course of community development, they will know that it is not about that. It is about, if, fortunately, this is socialism thing. If you are a leader, you cannot lead it because of, you can showcase that I'm wearing a 3,000 watch, what. You can showcase by going to the community, see their needs, and then if you don't know their needs, you can use, there are many students who are doing the community development, you can work with them. But for them, they enter there, for them, it's because I feel like they were ideologically empty.
When things don't happen, people have to bear the brunt of that in the communities, right? And it's been been 2 decades now that we've been free, right? And had the opportunity to honor our communities. And how do you, as a woman, as Noncedo, as all these things that you are, how do you center yourself when you see the horror, the grief, when you have to tell people, listen, I spoke to these people, but nothing's going to be done. When people ask you what's happening, and you have to keep telling them, how do you remain calm, centered? Are there times where you just break down? Like, how do you deal with the emotion of this roller coaster that you're on?
Fortunately, we are having sessions as women, whereby they call it a stroke. They said, you know what, in this world, there are things that they cannot stroke you. I thought it was a stroke of high blood or what, but the person said, no, a stroke, that there's something that makes you hurt. But you must make sure that the positivity and the negativity, the negative things must not be too much for my life. And that's the tool that I'm using. And the other tool that I learned in my life, it's art of living. I learned from art of living. They call it Bastrika. So I do that when I feel like I'm so tense. These breathing techniques. I breathe a lot, and I can run. But I can cry when it comes to cry, because I feel like sometimes I used to say, why? But I used to have the answer that it's because we are human beings, and it's because we are people. If we are not having these challenges in our life, we're not going to pray. And if I was not facing these challenges in my life, I was not going to love another people. If I was not having these challenges in my life, I was not going to care of my community. I'm having these challenges just because I have to know that this, and from here I did it, from here I didn't. And the information that I have from, as I'm monitoring the ESCOM in Parliament, I used to tell the people that as much as we are speaking about the renewable, but we are not going to get them, because the people in Parliament, they don't know about the renewables. What they know, that the renewable is the sun and wind and the water, but they don't know how to sustain it. So in that element, they make sure that renewables, they are not. And then what I noticed there in Parliament, they don't want to learn. The last time when I monitored the energy, I spoke with another MP, and I said, you know what, it's a time whereby you can appreciate us, you come to our community, and you can teach you about what is renewable. And we can know now why we say ESCOM is enough, and you can know now why we are saying leave the minerals of the earth on the ground, and we can live on the top of our mother earth. And Why am I saying so? All those things. And I'm an outspoken person. If something has happened, maybe I hear that someone has spoken about me in a bad way, I don't have a problem. When I saw that person, I said, Sana, if you want to speak with me, just come to me. Maybe it's because it's the way I grew up. I grew up in a long way. And as I said, I was alone. But now, as I'm growing up, I'm having so many people. So, in that inner me, it makes me so strong in a way that I need to take a decision. But the depression, it was in 2001, whereby they said I broke up, and then they took me to Lendegeer. When I was at Lendegeer, I stayed there for 3 months. And my psychologist used to ask me, why are you here? And I used to say, you know almost why I'm here. It's because I've been raped. And I used to keep on saying that. I remember also my mother, I told her that when my uncle was sleeping with me, was my uncle going to marry me? So I associated that raping with the marriage. And then I didn't know that it was a rape until 2003 when I was from Lendegeer. They were doing the workshop when Lona Lufana was passed away. She was raped. And then when they were speaking about rape, I said, I'm a rape survivor. I started crying. But since then, I cried in a way. I used to visit my psychologist in Lendegeer, and then she used to say, you know what, you are very strong. You are beyond with this thing of rape. I know you. And I can say some of those things, they also make me so strong. The things that I was told by my psychologists. I learned a lot about what is psychiatry, what is trauma, why I was there in Lendegeer. All those things, they make me strong.
Noncedo, I'm going to hand you over that to Viv, who's going to talk to you more specifically about Parliament.
Thank you for sharing that. I said to Sizwe, but even more so for you, that I've worked with you for so many years, and we don't know some of the personal stories that you shared here, because I now have a different understanding of the complex and strong and how you were shaped. So I'm very grateful that you shared it. I wanted to bring us back to Parliament, because that's what we wanted to kind of get to the point of Parliament. If you think about when we started this project, when you started with this project, the first time you went to Parliament, and you compared to what you know now after a couple of years about doing this work, what stands out for you about your first, that feelings you had the first time you went to Parliament and what you know now?
There are many feelings and they are so confusing. Some are up and down. It's like when we just enter there for the first time, as I said, it's like we are going to heaven. And that queue, I'm the only one behind those people with the high heels, high lipstick, hebo. They're wearing, I don't know whether it's a uniform, these black and white suits. Hey, what is it happening? And sometimes they don't wear the hat, and the only one. There was something that is so nice in their head to showcase that they have got money. Hey, what is it really happening? And then they will call you, next. You take the ID. And they said, do you know where you are going? I said, no, I don't know. To just inquire them whether they know. And then they will make sure that they will check that paper. Said, okay, you are going to room so and so, and then you are monitoring what? And then I said, ESCOM. I said, okay, public enterprise. I said, yes, okay. When I entered there were so many MPs. You try to put yourself that you also belong there, but they will make sure that you don't belong, because now I'm this character whereby if there are chairs like this and no one is sitting, I'll just go and sit. Because I want to know who's going to take me out. And then while I was sitting, and then the woman came and said, no, this is for the honorables. I said, who's the honorable? And then I said, it's a MP. I said, who's the MP? And then they said, where are you coming from? I said, before you ask me where I'm coming from, who's MP? And that woman said, so please, Sissy, don't make my work to be hard. I said, I'm going to sit here. The first day, I was with them. I didn't know whether I was with the MPs. I was with. And then when I was coming back home, they said, we saw you in TV. And I said, I thank God I was in front. So the next time I just decided to be not hard for that lady because she was not happy. But the difference is now, the first time when it's 2 years now, when I was monitoring, there were so many MPs and people appreciated the energy and the ESCOM. But as the year goes, there were so few, I don't know why. And the other day I was monitoring the energy, and the people from KZN came with the pink t-shirts, and I was so unhappy when the speaker was saying, what is happening now? There are so many people. Are we having a breast cancer awareness? And I felt like she is making a laughing stock about the people, and yet they came for their thing that was happening in KZN. So what sorghum? Sugar cane is the people who are working from sugar cane, and they came to put their complaint in Parliament.
What I want to ask you is, can you think of a time when a politician actually made a difference in your community?
Hi, beef. That's a dream. Hi, son. A politician make a difference in my community. Oh, the sun can come and eaten by the chicken. There is no such, and as far as I see the way they are operating, they will never go there. As I was saying, they intervene to our communities when there is a conflict among their constituency. They don't come just because they want to develop the community. And they all had, I remember the story that was been said by our people who used to say, you know what, whenever you see these small pots in our polls, you must know that the money is going to shrink, everything is going to increase, and we are going to see them on that day campaigning for their votes. We will never see them again, and that thing is real. So in our communities, we don't know the MPs. We don't even know our councillor. Moreover, how much more now the MPs?
So in short, no. You can't think of a single example.
No.
So when the politicians or when Parliament, when they fail, when they don't do their job properly, how does it affect you and your community?
It affects us a lot because our community people, they believe that it's only the politicians that will change our communities. Or it's only, they see the politicians as the Messiah or Jesus who forgive the sins. They don't see that the potentiality is within them. Oh, I remember when this thing of 15% VAT. Oh, people, my elders, they cried a lot. They said, if you buy bread now, you cannot have a change. If you buy the electricity, it's always when it comes to electricity. You buy electricity using the 20 rand. It's like you buy the electricity for 5 rand. Answering your question is, it makes me feel like crying because I don't know our people, they don't want to unlearn this thing of for 30 years, because now we are 26 years in democracy. I'm counting with my child. My child was born in 1994. We are in 30 years of democracy and we don't see any change. That means there will never be any change. We like it or not, because this thing of politics voting, I see it as if it was not there to serve our people. It is there to serve someone who's outside there. They benefit from this thing of politics, and in the community they don't get any benefit. That is why they say it in socialism. It's a neoliberal thing that we are in. So even the socialism, they said there is no country that has been socialism and then there is no capitalism. But I see there is Germany, there is beside Germany there is Cuba. Cuba is a socialism country. Although they are here now, they are having some challenges, but community people in Cuba, they are benefiting. For instance, in their community, they said there is a community health doctors. To get what I'm saying, they are So I feel like, we are not going to get there.
So that brings me to the last question. Knowing what you know and everything that you've said now, which really doesn't paint a pretty picture about politicians or parliament's usefulness in actually making a difference in communities, why do you still do this work? Why do you still go to parliament? Why do you still monitor? Why do you still do this work?
I feel like I have to be updated with their information and to learn more, because I don't want my people to ask me what is happening, and I say, you know what, I don't want to be like them, because our leaders, they don't know anything. A little example now, we were having a child that was going to go to play a ball overseas. We came there to see the premiere. They took our story, but nothing happened. Although we don't get it, but one thing I like, when the things that when we come here to provincial parliament or parliament, things are not happening. Our people, they can see now that we are just voting. Look what happened in this voting last year. Many people didn't go and vote. They said we can see now we vote just for voting, but we don't get anything from this voting thing.
Noncedo, you've given us a lot to think about, and I just want to say thank you for your time, for your service, not only to your community but to humanity in general. And I wish you all the best for your spiritual, mental, your heart growth. And thank you so much for giving us of yourself today. We really appreciate you coming this far to share your story with us.
And thank you for calling me, and I'm proud of us, because if there were no us, I was not going to be here today. Thank you to the universe too.
The title of this project is Putting the People in People's Parliament, known as PPiPP. PPiPP trains and supports activists, community members and people from civil society organizations to go to legislatures and tell them what we want from government, and also to hold the people elected to serve us to account to do their jobs in the way that the Constitution says. PPiPP is made up of different organizations. This project would not be possible without the generous support of the European Union, the Heinrich Böll Foundation and the Open Society Foundation of South Africa. Even though the views that we have expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect the views of our donors, like us, these funders are committed to making sure that South Africa's democracy is open and serves the public. We all should expect that our elected reps do better. PPiPP knows firsthand how difficult it is to get information on how to access the legislatures and to meaningfully participate in decisions made. The official route is to phone, write a letter, email, or visit constituency offices, your legislatures or parliament. You can also ask for meetings with elected representatives. Parliament and the legislatures all have websites with contact numbers that you can find if you Google them. For people with access to the internet, the People's Assembly is a good place to find out who your elected representative is. If anyone is struggling to get information about Parliament or the legislatures, they can call us on 021 959 2951.
Avoid using language that is unparliamentary and out of order. Honorable members, keep quiet.
Stop thinking through your stomachs.
Honorable members,
Use your brains to think.
expired.